Your Excellencies, Ministers, friends, I'm delighted to be joining you from Ottawa, Canada for this pre-Expo program. I'm Meredith Preston-McGee, the Secretary General for the Global Centre for Pluralism. Thank you to the organizers of Expo and to the Embassy of Canada to the United Arab Emirates for this invitation to speak on a topic which is central to the work that we do at the Global Centre. I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. This is something my Canadian colleagues will be familiar with, but that is less well known to our friends around the world. I acknowledge that I am speaking to you in Ottawa on the unceded territory of the Algonquin peoples. Unceded, meaning that the Algonquin Nation have not given us rights to be on their land. These acknowledgements remind us of the continued process of learning and listening that are integral to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples and core to pluralism. It reminds us that our work in Canada with reconciliation continues as it does in so many countries around the world. The Global Centre for Pluralism is an independent organization founded as a partnership between His Highness the Aga Khan and the Government of Canada. We work with policy leaders, educators, and community builders to amplify and implement the transformative power of pluralism. Before speaking further, I feel that it's important to explain what we mean by pluralism. Pluralism is, at its heart, an ethic of respect for diversity. While diversity in society is a demographic fact, a universal demographic fact, pluralism refers to the actions we take to respond positively to these differences. Diversity becomes the basis for a more successful and prosperous society, and not something to be managed or overcome. Tolerance and inclusion are the themes for Expo. We see these issues as important markers on the path towards more peaceful and prosperous societies that respect diversity. At the same time, we must recognize that tolerance and inclusion are only a part of the necessary transformative processes for a pluralist society. Pluralism requires transformative change, both to the institutions that govern diversity, as well as to our own public attitudes about belonging. A strong legal framework to support diversity is important, but it is only one piece of the puzzle. For laws and policies to be applied and sustained, we need to build societies that are committed to embracing diversity. With so many challenges facing us, why is it important that pluralism be at the front of our minds right now? This year, through the pandemic, we are seeing inequalities widening around the world. We are reminded that inequality affects all of us, holds all of us back. This global crisis underscores the urgency of a truly global effort to promote pluralism. At the Global Centre, we recognize that every country is on a different path with a unique set of hurdles. Therefore, it is important that each country have a set of signposts to help them chart their progress in their particular journey towards pluralism. Conscious of each society's unique circumstances, we have developed the Global Pluralism Index as a tool to better understand a society's pathway to pluralism and to chart its progress. At the Centre, we believe strongly that you cannot change what you do not see, understand, or measure. Our assessments help leaders identify gaps in a country's treatment of diversity, track trends, and inform their own interventions and decisions. A few examples of our recent findings from our pilot assessment for Canada shed light both on the ways that pluralism is thriving in Canada, but it also highlights where more work is needed. We hope that other countries can benefit from lessons arising from our experiences, but by no means are we exporting a Canadian model. We in Canada see pluralism as core to our national identity. Publicly, there is strong support for multiculturalism, and this is how Canada's international partners see her. Uniquely, our assessment found that identifying more strongly with Canada actually reduces anti-immigrant sentiments. However, this is only the surface of the story. Our assessment also found, for example, a disconnect when we looked at how diversity is portrayed in the media, widespread perpetuation of racial stereotypes. In Canada's political and legal spheres, we see a strong commitment to pluralism. This has produced solid representation of racialized minorities in politics, for example. However, there's an uneven application of these commitments. This results in stark inequalities among minority groups and Indigenous peoples. These have a ripple effect, negatively impacting graduation rates, life expectancy, infant mortality, access to health care, and rates of crime and suicide. We feel that these more troubling findings are important reminders that we must not be complacent, but rather continue to make them visible, engage in constructive dialogue, and strive to find solutions as we evolve as a society. Building a future based on pluralism requires us to be frank about the groups who our societies have failed. This is often an uncomfortable position, but it is only by leaning into this discomfort and listening and learning from those who are not benefiting from the prevailing systems that positive change can begin. I look forward to productive discussions on these issues at Expo next year. And in the meantime, I wish my colleagues around the world the very best as we get through these trying times together. Thank you.